In the aftermath of my attack, I awaken in darkness, surrounded by my closest friend who stayed by my side during my suffering. Chapter 30. After the throbbing pain in my neck jolts me awake, and I find myself enveloped in darkness. Kyle's steady breathing fills the room as I carefully roll onto my back, wincing at a pinch of scabbed over claw marks. My entire body aches, but the pain in my neck is particularly intense, a stark reminder of Anna's vicious attack. Gingerly, I sit up and swing my legs over the side of the bed, noticing with a blush that my shirt and bra are missing. Instinctively, I cover myself, my natural modesty kicking in despite the circumstances. My gaze falls on Kyle, his large frame awkwardly folded into a small computer chair. A damp cloth dangles from his hand, evidence of his attentive care. Despite the pain, I can't help but smile at the sight. My bladder, however, demands attention, so I carefully maneuver around him, trying not to disturb his slumber. I spot a T-shirt on the floor and use it to cover myself as I tiptoe to the bathroom, closing the door as quietly as possible. Just as I'm finishing up, Kyle opens the door, his voice husky with sleep. "How are you feeling?" "Fine," I reply automatically, but his narrowed eyes remind me that he can sense my discomfort through our bond. "I'm sure," I admit sheepishly, a hint of his usual teasing nature shining through. "Yeah, I know. We'll get you something for the pain. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm." "Are you hungry?" To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. I respond, acutely aware of the awkward silence that follows. I still need to clean up, but I'd rather not do so with an audience. "Are you coming?" Kyle asks, clearly waiting for me to stand. Uncomfortable, I mumble, "I have to finish." When he doesn't move, I realize I'll have to be more direct. "Please, shut the door so I can wipe." His smirk widens, revealing that he knew exactly what I wanted all along. "I wanted to see you blush. It's been too long." "Well, you did," I retort, making shooing motions. He chuckles and closes the door. After washing up, I exit the bathroom to find Kyle waiting by the bedroom door. As I approach him, a pressing question surfaces. "Where's Anna?" "Dead," he replies matter-of-factly. Processing this information. "Dead. Did you?" He nods slowly, his protective nature evident in his unwavering gaze. "Why did she try to kill me? And why would she do it here?" Wondering if they had managed to question her before her demise. "No idea, but I have theories," he replies, and I feel his anger as his blood starts to boil. I made the mistake of asking about it, but I really want to know. "What are they?" I inquire, quietly. "Let's not talk about it tonight." Holding out a large lightweight T-shirt for me. I drop the one I'm holding and he helps me put on a much bigger one. Moving my shoulder makes me hiss out in discomfort as I put it on. But if I were to do it myself, it would have been much worse. We walk to the kitchen in silence and I study Kyle as he fills a glass of water and looks in the cupboards for pain relievers. He locates a small white bottle and hands me 2 pills. I take the pills and he stares at me intently. Something is off about him. I don't know what it is, but it's almost like he's trying to keep himself from snapping. Like his rage is so close to the surface that his wolf is barely contained. I walk closer and slip my arms around him, kissing his chest. "I'll be okay." To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. "In less than 2 hours you would act twice." "That's not true. I attacked Beta Hightower." I correct him, trying to ease his tension. His hands cups my head and tilt my head to look up at him. "Don't." To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. I nod in understanding. He's making this his fault. He's upset with himself. He doesn't want me to make him feel better. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nobel, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. You didn't do anything. I watch as his eyes get cold and know instantly that I've said the wrong thing. I left you in the room with her. No one expected her to be crazy enough to try anything in a house full of my family. I reply, hoping he actually hears what I'm saying. Rachel tried to stop her. Offhandedly, she did. Shocked that Rachel would try to help me. Why would she do that? She hates me. Yeah. She was trying to pull her off when I came into the room. I can see he's thinking about a million things at once. The way his eyebrows pull together and his glazed over look is a dead giveaway. I watch him for about a minute when he pulls himself out of it. He kisses my forehead and walks to the refrigerator. I sit down as he makes me a thick turkey sandwich and slides the plate in front of me. Thank you. He leans against the counter crossing his arms and watches me as I eat. I wish there was something I could do or say to assure him I'm not going anywhere and nothing is going to happen. Kyle on full alert mode isn't going to be a good time. I can guarantee any protective instincts he has have been multiplied tenfold. I still can't believe Rachel tried to help me. That means more to me than it does to Kyle, I'm sure. I tried to protect Elisa, because I think of her as a sister. Maybe Rachel isn't as upset as she let on. Maybe she was doing it for attention. She does seem like the type. Thinking about Elisa has me thinking about the Robinsons. I haven't seen them since the day at clearing, after I met up with Elisa and they left. I think it's time to talk to them. I have so many questions I want answered, but I don't know where to start. After finding out my whole life has been a lie avoided thinking about things. I ran not wanting to confront anything, but after the last few days I need things cleared up. Maybe getting some closure will help with moving on and understanding myself more. The Robinsons raised me from infancy and never once did I doubt them as parents. How much of my mother's love was a lie? What about my grandfather? Who was he really? And why did we share the same purple eyes? What about my aunt? She knew and didn't tell me or treat me any differently than Elisa. She also hasn't tried to contact me since coming here. Is she even still here? I finish eating in silence, not coming to any conclusions about how to deal with Kyle or my life. Every time something goes wrong, the only thing I can think of to help the situation is getting back to the pack with Kyle. I'm sure it's the right solution. Kyle needs to feel in control of the situation, and that will help. I stand up and we walk back to bed together. I really need to shower, but it's late and with Kyle's mood I'll probably have to shower while he watches. I start unbuttoning my pants with my one hand when Kyle pushes my hand away and takes over. He pulls my pants down, then lifts me up. Setting me down on the bed, he takes them completely off. I tug at the covers and situate them around me as Kyle undresses. I can't help but watch as his muscles jump with each movement he makes. It hasn't even been that long since we were together. Yet my body is begging for his touch. I look away before he catches me drooling over him. He's already embarrassed me once today. No need to make a habit out of it. When the bed dips down, I turn to look at him. I meet his eyes, seeing nothing but what cloud in them. He knows I want him and I can feel his need just as strongly. I hear the low rumble in his throat and know he won't be acting on those feelings. Stop. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nobel, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. As he lays down next to me, I shut my eyes, willing my body to control itself. I should have never watched him undress. His hand rests on my hip and lifts, turning me onto my side facing him. I must look horrible. With a broken wrist, 3 claw marks on my back and a serious neck wound, I am in no way at my best. Knowing I look pathetic kills my mood and I meet his gaze. His hand still on my hip moves under my shirt and caresses my side. He leans in closer, kissing me softly, causing the feelings I just banished to come back screaming. Shifting closer, his body flushed against mine, he deepens the kiss and I moan, arching into his solid body. Feeling his erection against me, I move my hips against him. Growling loudly, he pushes my hips away and breaks our kiss. I blink up at him, wondering why he stopped, when he pushes me onto my back. You're injured. Breathing heavily, but I want you. Rolling back onto my side and against him, He closes his eyes and falls back against the bed, rubbing his eyes. I kiss his naked chest and his eyes fly open. I can barely contain the smile that threatens to pull at my lips. I roll my body until it's halfway on top of his. I move down, licking and kissing down his chest to his stomach, following the dark trail of hair. When I get to his hardness, I take him in one hand as I kiss down the length of his shaft and back up. I part my lips, taking him into my mouth, causing his hips to leave the bed. His hands hook under my arms and pull me up his body with ease, kissing me roughly. His fingers trace my thighs until they move against my center. I moan into his mouth and grind myself against his fingers. I don't stop moving and he keeps me right at the edge of completion. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nobel, heartfelt thanks for your unfading patience, enthusiasm. I beg. His fingers leave only to be replaced by the tip of his erection. His hands guide my hips down and I moan when I take all of him in, shifting my hips against his as he thrusts up. We make love slowly. Each movement is sweet torture. I don't know how he can control himself when I lose everything with him, unaware of anything but the bliss I'm feeling. It feels like hours by them time our sweating bodies collapse against each other, fully satisfied. I stir in bed, coming fully awake only after I brush my arm along Kyle's side of bed and not meeting his hard body. I sit up just as I hear a soft knock at the door. Come in. I call out and Lily walks in. Hey, Elise is on. Oh, my God, it smells like sweaty balls in here. She complains, waving her hand in front of her nose. Elise is coming here. Sleepily, she replies, quickly holding her breath. Has Kyle said when we're leaving? She nods and pulls up the front of her shirt to cover her mouth and nose. Later today, I have things to do before we leave. One of them is thanking Rachel for trying to help when Anne attacked. The other is talking to Elisa and the Robinsons. I need to know everything. You should shower. Trust me, she says, running to the door. I smile at her antics and breathe in deeply. Holy cow. She's right. I get out of bed after taking off the bandage on my neck. I take a quick shower. I dress in shorts and a black t-shirt and slip on black Toms. I grab the white gauze and tape before opening the bedroom door. With my hair still wet from the shower, I search for my mom to put a new bandage on my neck. I walk into the kitchen, finding Alpha Thompson instead. He takes in my bare neck and the gauze and tape I'm holding. Need help? Yeah. Have you seen my mom? She out running, he replies. Walking closer, he takes the tape and gauze from my hands and gently moves my head to the side, exposing my neck even more. He makes quick work of the process, like he knows exactly what he's doing and is done within seconds. Thank you. You're welcome. What are the theories about your wolf rejecting the mating bond with Alpha Heart? He questions, in a no-nonsense way. I see the interest in his eyes. He's genuinely intrigued. Apparently, I have to be pregnant for the bond to form. I explain. Why, I wish I knew. My father thinks it's because of the fact I'm a white wolf. White wolf? Yeah, the same thing that happened with my mother. Not having any more to tell him, he leans against the countertop and I can see that he's thinking intently. So, genetically your wolf rejects a mating bond until you're pregnant yet. He nods that he understands as Lily comes into the room. I watch as she gives Alpha Thompson a glare and then turns to me. Elisa's here. I start walking towards her and together we meet up with Elisa at the front door. You're walking. I look at her like she's crazy. I didn't break my legs. She's talking about how Kyle was after it happened. I was surprised he left you alone this morning. Alpha Thompson says, knowingly. Where is he? I question, surprised that he left me alone too. Finishing up negotiations with the Red Wolf Pack. Lydia answers. This would be the time to get some answers without getting into trouble with Kyle. Hopefully, I can go and get back before he notices I've gone. Oh, no. Elisa says, looking at my intense face, I need your help. I state, knowing she'll help me no matter what. She sighs and hunches her shoulders. What is it? I need to talk to your mom and dad. I need some questions answered. And you need to do this before Kyle's finds out you've gone. Knowingly. Precisely. I nod. I'm coming with you. Lily states, not wanting to be left out. You can drive us. I don't want it to take too long, and with my wrist it's bound to take longer if we run. You're going to get me grounded. But what the hell? Let's go. Lily replies, grabbing a set of car keys from the foyer table. We leave the house quietly as possible and make our way to Alex's territory. More specifically, the Robinsons' house. Chapter 35, we start towards Alex's territory in Lily's Hummer. Alex is meeting with the Red Wolf Pax Beta with my father and Kyle. I know it even tonight. So I'm sure negotiations will run long, until everything is decided and agreed upon by the end of the day. Maybe I should call them. Let them know you're coming. Elisa asks. No, I don't want them preparing for questions. I want truthful answers and honest reactions when I talk to them. I reply. You're right. Dad will start preparing some kind of speech. Elisa responds. Knowingly. We have to be back within the hour. So, ask what you need and let's get out of there. I don't need the whole pack out looking for us. Lily says, nervously, they won't even notice we're gone. They're going to be in the meeting for hours. Knowing Carl, he'll insist on getting it over with today. But he won't rush it, I assure her. Still, I know Dad and Kyle. We're dead if they find out we left without them knowing. Lily states, you know they'd never let me leave. Not after what happened yesterday. Moving my aching shoulder slightly. I know, and I shouldn't be taking you off our territory after yesterday either. Lily grumbles. I can tell she's nervous and anxious about getting back home. You don't have to protect me. Lily, they were once my parents. Nothing's going to happen. I will ask a couple questions and we can leave. It's not Elisa's parents I'm worried about. She replies. Dad has a lot going on right now. He doesn't need any more stress. A half hour. That's all I need. I respond, thankful for her help. This seems to ease some of her tension and she gives me a weak smile and nods. As we get closer and Elisa gives directions to her house, I use this time to gather my thoughts. I don't want to be mad at them. I understand that they had no choice. Yet in the back of my mind I keep thinking there had to have been something they could have done. I think that's where I'm having the most trouble. I need to move on and I accept the fact that things can't be changed. Why couldn't they have told me? Why did they have to wait so long? My trust and whole life changed in an instant. I feel hurt and betrayed only by parents I knew. Having the rug pulled out from under my feet shook me and I grabbed onto the only thing I could. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. I have so many things to be grateful for and Kyle is definitely one of them. I glance at Elisa. She's another reason to be thankful my life turned out the way it did. I love her and can't imagine growing up without her. It wasn't so bad with us. Elisa asks, hesitating briefly. I smile, telling to look at her. I was just thinking how different my life would have been. I can't picture not growing up with you. I'm just upset about the lies. Elisa, not how I was raised. I just need to know. Why? Why didn't they tell me? I would have understood. Sadly, I don't know why. Josie, they don't talk about it. At least not with me. I nod and turn back around thinking about my real parents compared to the Robinsons. I think deep down inside I knew I didn't fit in with the Robinsons. Meeting my real parents solidified those past feelings. Seeing my real family, something clicked inside me. It felt right and gave me a sense that I was finally home. There's no explanation for it, and I don't need one. My heart knew immediately that this was home. I snap out of my musings when we pull up to a small ranch-style home with a large porch and neatly manicured flower beds. I feel my heart pound and my eyes water. I need to do this. I can do this. I open the car door as soon as the engine stops, not noticing everyone pulling in directly behind us until Elisa points it out. What's he doing here? I look behind me, seeing Alpha Thompson getting out of a big black truck. What are you doing here? Confused. For some reason. Probably my trusting nature. I don't fear him. 3 unmated she-wolves leaving what is considered to be a neutral territory to come onto Alpha ran land without permission. Well, that just screams entertainment. he replies, waking towards us. I'm here to talk to the people who raised me, I explain, looking back at the house. I can't call them my parents. I know I should. Yet, something in me rejects the idea. Maybe it's my bitterness. Well, I suggest you make short work of it before your mate finds you gone. I nod and we all walk to the front door. Elisa lets us in and we follow her to the kitchen. I hear a television turn off and Mark meets us in the hallway. What is this? He questions, looking at all of us. I wanted to speak to you. Nervously, she wants to ask you and Mum some questions. Elisa states, firmly, I think that'd be nice. I hear a timid voice say from behind Mark. He shifts and I see Sophie standing with a dish towel being wrung in her nervous hands. Mark nods and we all make our way to the living room. I sit down on the couch next to Elise and Lily. Mark and Sophie sit across from us while Alpha Thompson paces behind us. Why didn't you tell me? It was safer if you didn't know. Alpha or H-wise warned us. I couldn't risk him finding out. Mark answers, honestly. I nod in response. I can respect that he was protecting his family. Did you ever try to get us away from Alpha Reese? I inquire, wanting to know if he ever really attempted to get us away. There haven't been many opportunities. We took the first real shot we had. He replies, seriously, Grandpa, what about him? Knowing the answer already, he cared about you. He thought of you as his granddaughter and loved you very much. His eyes, completely coincidental. He replies, before I can finish, I feel my tears. What did I come here for? I know the answers to these questions. I swallow the lump in my throat knowing what I want to ask. Did you love me? Yes. Mom shouts, falling to her knees in front of me. She cups my face, forcing me to look into her eyes. I will always think of you as my daughter. I miss you and love you every second of the day. I feel tears falling down my face and Mom brushes them away, kissing my wet cheeks lovingly. It's been so hard. I cry, and she hugs me tightly. I can only imagine how hurt you feel and I'm so sorry. She replies, almost pleading with me to understand. We hold each other for a while before I feel a tap on my shoulder. I'm sorry, but we should get going before they realize we're gone. Lucille says, remorse on her face. I nod, getting Lily that I heard. Oh cool, I state, looking at Mom before standing up. I'm not sure when I'll be back, but I want to come again. Yes, come anytime. She replies, wiping at her own wet cheeks. We walk to the door quietly and say our goodbyes. I feel lighter as we drive back home. After parking, we walk back inside the house and I watch as Lily starts looking around apprehensively. I'm not sorry for going out, or scared about getting caught. I'm emotionally drained and tired, but the great burden about the Robinsons has lifted. Moving on will be easier now. I won't have to constantly wonder if the people who raised me loved me. Knowing I was loved and that every day wasn't a total lie is comforting and exactly what I needed to hear. I feel her arm wrap and my shoulder. Are you okay? Alpha Thompson asks. Yeah, I just feel different. I don't know how to explain it. To my agent extraordinaire, Mylan Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. I reply, confused by my own feelings. They didn't just raise you. They accepted and loved you. That's bound to be confusing. He replies, seriously. I give him a weak smile and he walks away. You feel better? Right. Elisa asks. Yes, so much better. Thank you both for helping. I'm sorry I made you leave. Lily apologizes, looking guilty. I didn't need to stay. I got the answers I wanted. I respond, giving her a reassuring hug. To my agent extraordinaire, Mylan Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. I'm starving, let's raid the refrigerator. Lily says, breaking out hug and skipping to the kitchen. I watch her leave and Elisa follow after. I really need Kyle. I know they're busy, so I walk to the kitchen. I see Alpha Thompson is already helping himself to the contents of the refrigerator, making a sandwich. Elisa and Lily start taking out leftovers and heating them up in the microwave. I sit down at the kitchen counter as a plate with a ham sandwich and a pickle is placed in front of me. I respond, picking up the sandwich and taking a big bite. My appetite has been non-existent for so long. I can't remember the last time I enjoyed a meal. I have a theory about why you're rejecting your mate's mark. Alpha Thompson says, sitting next to me you do. Surprised he'd even be thinking about it. I thought we solved why my body was rejecting Kyle's mark. He nods. Yeah. Have you tried marking him back? No, I haven't. I reply, thinking about it. It does make sense. If I'm accepting the bond for a few days at a time, then maybe to get it to last I have to mark him back. A side of acceptance would be marking him back. Why hadn't we thought of this before? You're right. That might work. I respond, happily. It's rare that this even occurs. I've only read of it happening a few times and never with an alpha's mark. I think it's worth trying. Simply, yeah, I will. I've only heard of it happening to my mom, Lily says, joining the conversation. My pack documents everything that is of importance. They have 4 generations. I read about it in one of the books and was going to share it with Alpha Heart eventually. But I thought I'd let you know first. So it's your choice. He explains. My choice? You're not of age. You still have choices. I thought I would tell you this regardless of what I think your feelings for Alpha Heart are. She loves him, Lily states, glaring at Alpha Thompson. I do love him. I concur. There's no real choice. Carl may have chosen me, but we found love together. He watches me for a couple seconds before responding. Good. And I don't think you have to worry about Alpha Briggs anymore. I think he knows that he's outmatched with Alpha Heart. However, Alpha Reese is another story. I'm sure he was the father of Anna's unborn pup. My mouth drops. How do you know that? I question, my heart hammering in my chest. It was something she said to Ivy as we were traveling here. Brett doesn't care about me or the baby, just her. I'm sure Ivy was hoping that Alpha Reese was going to attempt to save them, because of Anna. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Noban, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. He didn't lift a finger and he got rid of his 2 biggest problems, courtesy of Alpha Heart. You think Alpha Reese wanted Anna and the baby to die? Horrified at the thought. I think he was hoping it would happen, yes. He sent her to my territory where we killed trespassers without batting an eye. Your father's involvement and foresight to tell us beforehand of her plans was the only thing that saved their lives. So, now if Alpha Reese comes after Kyle, it can be under the guise of claiming retribution for Kyle killing his unborn baby. He can get others to help him. What Kyle did will cause a lot of anger towards him, Lily states, connecting all the dots. She attacked me. She tried to kill me. Surely, we can tell everyone it was a justified kill. Fearing for Kyle and our pack. We have to tell Kyle, I state. Starting to stand up. He knows. My beta told him this morning. They're doing some damage control and calling other alphas. I get up, not caring, and run towards my father's office. I need to know what's happening. I won't be kept in the dark any longer. Chapter 36 Alpha Kyle Hart. All morning I've been calling other packs, explaining Anna's death. I've told the whole scene over and over again. Alex and Beta Martin. Many have accepted the story and taken our word about the circumstances. It helps that Jack had contacted them days before about his daughter and her accomplice acting against his pack. Yet, word has reached us that Reese is playing the victim. The loss of his lover and child unbearable. He wants revenge. I've contacted at least 3 packs that I'm sure are on Reese's side. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Noble, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Some have taken Reese's side. I know they won't get involved. They're smaller packs and are aware of what they'd be up against. Even if Reese has amassed an army, I'll be ready for him. I have my enforcers running the perimeter and will be on my way. I'm back within the next hour. We've come to terms with our contact with the Red Wolf pack and the stipulations of visiting each alpha's land. Not all terms are the same, but they're close. There's only one more thing to do. I'm calling Reese. I'd rather do this civilly. I don't want him while I land and threatening my pack. He want to give you the advantage. Jack replies knowingly. Then I'll go to him before he can strike. I respond, listening to the ringing on the other end. I'm going with you. You can't trust Reese. Alex says, stepping forward. He's the last person I expected to join me. I nod, accepting his help. Alpha Reese. I hear through the phone. How do you want to do this? To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilban. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Impatiently. Alpha Heart. I have to thank you. You took care of 2 of my problems for me. Really. Very gracious of you. His happiness sets my teeth on edge. Just tell me how you want to do this. I repeat, sickened by his attitude. His lack of compassion for his own unborn pup is repulsive and speaks to his mental instability. My land. Readily. I'm on my way. With Alpha Briggs. I see Jack and Beta Martin step forward. And Alpha Griffin and Beta Martin. Bring Emily as well. Fuck you. He chuckles. It was worth a try. She'll be mine once I'm done with you anyway. I'll be waiting. He replies, ending the call. His land as soon as possible. I tell the others as I put the phone down. The door opens and Emily comes in with a worried expression on her beautiful face. Seeing Alpha Thompson behind her, I know he told her about the threat from Reese. Alpha Thompson hasn't been a part of the negotiations or the meeting. He doesn't seem to like sitting still and talking, but he knows what's going on. I'm going to have to keep her here. She's not going to be happy about it. I can't risk her. If this is a trap or if things don't go as I expect them to, she'll be put in harm's way. I can't have that. As soon as she's loose enough, I take her in my arms. What's happening? She questions. Reese has agreed to settle this between the 2 of us, How? I'm on my way to talk to him about it right now. I answer, not wanting to tell her that we're fighting. It will only worry her and I need her calm. Talk. In total disbelief. Yes, I'm coming with you, she states. No, I'm bringing your father. Alex and Beta Martin. I'm not staying here. I want to be with you. I'll be back tonight. Kyle, we have to go. I'll call them when we're on our way back. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilban. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. You look tired. She pulls out of my arms, not looking at me or anyone, and leaves the room silently. Let's go. On the drive to the airport, I feed Emily's anger and hurt feelings. I keep telling myself I'll make it up to her. But her anger and betrayal tells me I'll need to do more than that. I can't shake the feeling that she is questioning our relationship. Maybe I should have been honest with her. But what would that have done besides worry and scare her? I'll tell her everything after I get back and apologize. We board the plane and take off down the runway. My need to bury Reese grows as we get closer and closer to his territory. This is a damaged and deranged man. How anyone could live under his control is astonishing. What are his pack members thinking? Emily Robbins and I leave the room before I start to cry. Why can't he ever be honest with me? I think I've handled the last couple of months better than most would have. I'm not a weak individual that needs constant pampering. He's fighting Alpha Reese. I'm certain of it. I understand why he wouldn't want me there, and I agree with him. Me being there wouldn't be a smart move. I just wanted to hear him tell me the truth for once. I'd give anything for him to be honest and straightforward with me. I closed the door to my room as I listened to them leave. I know I should be worried, but I'm not. I know he can defeat Reese, and with the Alphas as backup, I don't think too much can go wrong. Things might not be done without fighting, but we do have a sense of ethics or code when it comes to it. Fighting is encouraged to settle disputes, if possible with the least amount of casualties. For instance, if the Alphas have a problem that can be solved between the 2 of them, it will be. Whatever the outcome is will be respected by the members of both packs. There's a knock on my door and it opens. I almost gasp in shock. Hey, can I talk to you? Ivy asks, tentatively. Yeah, sure. Kind of dazed. She takes the small steps in when I see Alpha Tomps and directly behind her. I look at him. Are you making her apologize to me? Slightly irritated. I notice Ivy look behind her quickly, obviously not knowing he was with her. No, just making sure she didn't try anything. I'm not going to do anything to her. She snaps at him. Good. Then I won't have to do anything to you. Ivy glares at him for a few seconds, but turns back to me and shifts on her feet uncomfortably. How's your neck and back? Not that bad. Thanks for trying to help. I really didn't think she'd actually attack. I know she was a little crazy and aggressive, but I thought it was all talk. She had it out for me. I agree with a smile. I appreciate that she's trying to tell me she's sorry. I don't think anyone thought that she'd attack me. It would have been suicide to do so. Yeah, but what she did. She shakes her head sadly. No one saw it coming, Ivy. She had to have known what would happen if she attacked. She told me it was Alpha Reese, baby. He told her he was connected to you, that she had to kill you to set him free. He sent her on a suicide mission, knowing that she'd fail and be killed along with the baby. Oh, that's sad and sickening. Holding my stomach, I understand why she did it. Why did you? Alpha Thompson asks. Attention mostly. She replies, turning toward him slightly, then looking back to me. No one cared about me when you were taken. They certainly wouldn't care about me now that you're back. You have to know that's not true. You devastated the whole family. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nelbay, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Dad, I've never seen someone so distraught. He and Mom cried over everything. They know they made mistakes, but they love you. It's hard to forget something like that. I'm sure it is. I didn't want to forgive the people that raised me. I was angry, hurt and confused. I couldn't understand how they could lie to me all my life. Then I went to talk to them. They explained things and I got to look into their eyes. I know they're sorry for what they did. Maybe you need to do the same thing with our parents. I suggest. Maybe. She shrugs. Carelessly. The silence is awkward, which somehow is only intensified by Alpha Thompson's presence. Hey bitch. Let's, Lily says, walking through the door and coming to a stop after seeing Ivy and Alpha Thompson. Elisa follows directly after, Lily only muttering. Awkward under her breath. Ivy doesn't talk to either of them. She simply ignores them as she leaves the room. What was all that? Lily inquires. Confused. She wanted to talk. It was nothing. About what? Nothing much. You guys kind of interrupted. I lie. It's not that I'm hiding what happened between Ivy and I. I just don't want to talk about Ito. Well, what's going on with Dad? Kyle and Alex leaving? Lily asks, curiously. They're meeting up with Reese. I explain. To talk. I answer, sarcastically. They're going to fight. Kyle wouldn't tell me. Truthfully, they must see the hurt in my eyes because they instantly come closer. You know he did it to protect you. Protect me from what? It's not like I'm the one fighting. He never tells me anything. I hate that he can't be honest with me. Maybe it's me intentionally refusing his claim. It's that possible. I mean, he's forced this relationship and he's never honest with me. Maybe it's me refusing the marking. Thinking of Alpha Thompson's wording where he explained the rejection of Carl's mark. But could I also mark him, I start to say. Thinking out loud. If you mark him, that would demonstrate your love and trust in him. Alpha Thompson explains. Do I want this? To live with the man I love, but can't trust to be honest with me? Is it a matter of trust or is it strictly protection? I sit on the edge of the bed, completely torn and hurt. Chapter 37, Alpha Kyle Hart. We're picked up at the airstrip and driven to Alpha Reese home. The car pulls up to a large two-story home and stops in front. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nelban, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Jack, Beta Martin and I get out. One of the men that picked us up for the airstrip motions for us to follow him. Alpha Reese said to bring you in back. We've cleared an area for the match. The taller one says, Judging by his demeanor, he and his friend are even put on guard by 3 alphas coming into their territory. I don't know if he's stupid or has no loyalty or fondness for Alpha Reese. I'm not concerned about this fight. There's no way I can be beaten by Reese. This will end quickly. I notice Reese as we round the corner of the back of the house. He's standing with another man. I instantly recognize him. Wesley Dalton, Anna's brother. He was kicked out of my pack when he chose to challenge me 5 years ago and lost. He is older than me by 2 years. He's big and a quick fighter. However, he always had 2 weaknesses: arrogance and alcohol. He's not looking to sober, as far as I can tell. As we walk closer, I hear Reese is not at all pleased by his intoxication. This must have been Reese's plan. Wesley would be fighting me in place of him for the death of his sister. Smart move. If he would have kept his fighter sober. Reese and Wesley turn towards us as we walk closer. I look at both men and see that Wesley has been training. He looks strong and menacing. Even intoxicated, Wesley will be a fiercer match than Reese. However, even standing with his legs braced apart, he is swaying slightly. I will not fight a drunkenness like him. I hope you don't expect me to fight him. Looking at Reese and pointing to Wesley. Why are you afraid? Oh, for heart. Wesley slurs, taking an unsteady step towards me. Please, you look like you're about to pass out. Alex mocks I'm not drunk. Wesley refutes. Drunkenly. I know that. You're completely wasted. I respond. Look, I'd rather get this over with soon. Are you ready? Agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. That's the thing. Oh, for heart. I demand a fight for the killing of my pup, and Wesley demands a fight for you killing his sister. Reese says, smugly, I may have killed his sister, but you sent her on a suicide mission. Her blood is on your hands, just as it is mine. I respond, knowingly, intentionally wanting to get Wesley's attention. When Reese doesn't respond, I look at Wesley, who is shaking his head. That's not true. He begged her not to go. She wouldn't listen. Wesley says, sounding doubtful of his own words. My daughter was the one to tell me of Reese's deception. You can ask her yourself. No need. I was there. She told me she was sent to kill Emily Griffin. Beta Martin states, stepping closer to Wesley. Alpha Reese convinced your sister that killing Emily was the only way he'd be free to mate with her. He explains, in hopes that she would fail. Tell him, Reese, how you thanked me for Anna and the pup's death. Seeing Wesley's face become hard as he takes in Reese's obvious guilt. Reese replies, nervously backing away from a suddenly fierce Wesley. No, you're lying. Anna told me she was going for you, but I didn't understand what she meant. Now I know she went because you gave her no option. She was pregnant with your pup and you refused her on a lie. She left in hopes that she'd succeed and that you'd accept her and your pup. He points out, getting angrier and angrier with each word. Wesley doesn't wait for a response. Even I had to look away from the viciousness of the attack. Reese was dead within seconds, yet the sound of creaking bones continued for minutes longer. After the attack, Wesley sits breathing hard and looking at his former alpha. Why didn't you challenge him earlier? Why wasn't he challenged by any of you? Looking around the oval, seeing the other pack members, one of the men that walked us to the clearing steps forward. It seemed that anyone that would challenge Reese would die before they would get to the fight. Who was responsible for the killings? To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. He replies he didn't act alone. Jack states, pointedly, the pack members look around themselves. Everyone's suspicious. Did anyone help Reese in the killings? It's understandable if you were ordered to do so. From the corner of my eye watches Wesley stands, looking less drunk than before. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Now he demands to the pack. The men step forward with their heads down. What did he order you to do? I question. After Mark left, I tried replacing him. I set up the killings. making sure there were no witnesses. The man admits, truly ashamed. And you? The next man. Reese made me his ears. Any talk of a challenge from the members of the pack, I had to tell him. I nod to the last man, ordering him to state his involvement. I got rid of the bodies. He mutters, quietly. There's a few murmurs and gasps from the crowd. They can't be surprised. Everyone had to have known their alpha was deceiving them. A man as unstable as Reese would be virtually impossible not to notice. You have a new alpha. Alfred Alton. I turn to him. Unless you still want your retribution. He shakes his head. Not here was no other option. Reese made sure she'd get killed. I got my retribution. I assume you'll run this pack with more honor than your predecessor. No sudden deaths before the challenge date. I'm not Reese. He grumbles. I'm sure your pack is happy to hear that. Walking towards him. I see him tense up and watch me warily. I stop in front of him. Keep yourself out of the bottle. Your pack needs you. I hold out my hand to him as a gesture of truce. He nods and shakes my hand. He tilts his head in respect. Alpha Heart. I mimic his actions and reply. Alfred Alton. Wesley offers us dinner, but I refuse on behalf of us. No, we have to get back. Already walking back to the vehicle that brought us here. Anxious to get back and finish your mating. Beta Martin Arton asks. Knowingly, I stop beside the van and turn towards him, about to tear him apart for mocking our relationship. Then I see that he's perfectly serious. What are you taking about? Alpha Thompson informed me he told you a way to secure your mate. He didn't tell me anything. Secure her in what way? A pup. We figured that out already. Getting in the car. The man that drove us here gets behind the steering wheel as we piled into the car. We're all seated when Beta Martin's in his seat to look at me. No, not by a pup. By her marking you. It clicks in my head what he's talking about. Alpha Thompson told you of this. He told me and your mate. I question, if Emily had found out, did she have time to tell me? If so, why is she hesitating? The feelings she felt when I left aren't putting me at ease. I don't know. Alpha Thompson told me the day she was attacked. He said he was going to tell you and your mate. So you don't know for certain he told me mate? No, I assumed he had when she came into the office today. Since he told her about the Reese situation, I'm sure he told her about marking you. Even if he had told Emily, she didn't have enough time to talk to me about it. The knot in my gut lessens knowing that. Emily Robinson. After asking everyone to leave, I think about what I want and can only come up with one answer. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfading enthusiasm. My heart is his, but I need to convince him that he can talk to me. I want more than his reassurances. I want the truth. It's getting late, but I've made sure to focus on what Kyle is feeling. So far, no pain has registered, only irritation, frustration and confusion. I decide to pack our things, which isn't much for Kyle. I pick up his dirty jeans and boxers, and a black box falls to the ground. I look at it briefly before picking it up. Caressing the velvet box, I sit on the edge of the bed and debate whether to open it or not. I can't open it. It might not even be a ring. I set the box next to me on the bed and stand up to pack the rest of our things. Why would he get me a ring now? It's not unusual for couples to give each other rings. It just seems odd. I can't pick in the time to look for one. I finish cleaning my room, not wanting to leave a mess behind, and pace the floor. I know I have nothing to be alarmed or nervous about, but I'm itching to get back home and for things to go back to being normal. I hear the door open and spin around quickly as Kyle walks into the room. I turn running to his open arms, hugging him tightly. Chapter 38. After embracing, I can tell something is off about Kyle. It's like he's on edge. He doesn't say much, and I realize it's not the time to demand that we talk about things between us. I brush it off as anxiousness and need to get back to the pack. I don't know what happened with Alpha Reese, but it can't be good. I notice him pick up the black velvet box and slip it in his pocket, obviously not caring that I've seen the box. We leave shortly after saying a quick goodbye to everyone. The whole trip back to the pack is silent. It's almost like he's angry with me. But I can't tell for sure. With Kyle, I don't know where his moods come from. Sad, mad, or content, he's always the same. Silent. I have decided to tell him about the marking after we talk about his lack of communication with me and the lies. I need him to realize I deserve to know the truth even if it's unpleasant. If he wants to be my mate, then he'll treat me as an equal, not a fragile piece of glass. As he parks the car in the garage, his silence grates on my nerves. If he's upset about something, he should tell me. He opens the back and takes out our bags, and I hold the door open for him. I follow him to our room, and as soon as the bags hit the floor, I've had enough. What's going on? To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Curiously, he straightens up and turns to me. Nothing. I'm not surprised by his answer. Something is wrong. Talk to me, please. Tiredly. It's been a long day, he replies, deflecting my question. Yes, it has. What happened with Reese? Trying to be understanding and patient with him. Wesley, Anna's brother, killed him for perception towards Anna. She had a brother in Reese's pack. He nods simply and doesn't explain. But he doesn't need to. Usually, the only reason families are separated are lost challenges and matings. You seem angry about something, I point out, walking closer to him. I'm not angry. Kyle, I am seconds away from shaking you. Talk to me. It shouldn't be this hard to open up to me. We mates, treat me like one. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. He shouts back, making me jump. I have heard him raise his voice, just never at me. As soon as I feel myself shrink back, I snap back and push his chest, stealing my spine. I stand straight up, glaring back at him, refusing to back down. Yes, mates, I reply, staring at his burning eyes. I won't show him how scared of him I am, but I know he can feel it. I try to calm my racing heart and control my breathing. I know about Alpha Thompson telling you to mark me, and you haven't said a word about it. Second thoughts. Babe, he questions, his anger intensifying. Confused and surprised, he would think I was changing my mind. I open my mouth to respond and nothing comes out. You're not getting out of this. You're mine. Finding my voice finally, I respond softly. I wouldn't want it any other way. I was going to tell you. I just wanted to talk to you first. He scoffs and turns around, walking to the bathroom, slamming the door. He doesn't believe me. I grit my teeth and storm towards the closed door. I turn the knob and push it open with all my strength, hearing the satisfying bang against the wall. The shower is running. Kyle has his shirt off. He drops it to the floor and I cross my arms, glaring at him. If you want me as a mate, then start treating me like one. You're the only one I want. But I need to know you think of me as someone you can talk to, someone you can confide in. Otherwise, we're nothing. I realize you think you're protecting me, but you're not. You're alienating me from your life. I explain sadly, practically begging him to see what he's doing to us. He nods, stiffly. I can see he's taking in my words and thinking about what I'm saying. I didn't see it like that. I watch as he turns off the shower and looks back at me. I know. That's why I wanted to talk to you first. Feeling like a ton of bricks being lifted off of me. This is what he's feeling. He thought the worst, and instead of confronting me about it, he's carried it around all day, feeling sorry that I didn't address the issue. I see that he's not the only one not communicating openly. I should have told him about the marking sooner. He steps towards me and I meet him. He wraps his arms around me and leans down, nuzzling his face in my hair. So, no second thoughts. He inquires, needing reassurance. No. Second thoughts. Just anger with you for sparing my feelings and not being truthful with me. I felt that. I knew you were upset when I left. I promise you, you won't feel that way ever again. Firmly, I hug him tighter. I love you. He pulls away and bends down, looking under the sink cabinet. When he stands back up, he has a box of condoms. Oh, now you want to play it safe. Smirking, It's not that I want to, just that I will until you're ready. Thank you, I reply, happy that he's taking my feelings into account. He nods and sets the condoms on the countertop. He steps closer, bringing his hands to rest on my hips, and lifts me until I'm sitting next to the box of condoms with my legs spread and him standing between them, kissing me sweetly and pulling away. His eyes burn into mine. Mark me. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Softly, his voice sounding husky. Now, stupidly, now he replies, shouldn't we do that in bed? I question, knowing that a true mating can be very intense and sexual. Agreeing that the counter-top isn't the best place to consummate a mating, he carries me and the box of condoms to the bed. Carl lays me on the bed and rests me slowly, his eyes touching every part of my body, like he's committing it to memory. His rough hands caress the most sensitive parts of my skin, making it burn and tingle with need. When the time comes for him to undress, I watch him utterly entranced by the movement of his muscles as he works on such a simple task. I can't keep from blushing as he opens the box of condoms and puts one on. He watches me the whole time, never breaking eye contact. When he leans over me, kissing me deeply, I moan with excitement and dig my fingers in his hair. Feeling him enter me, I pull away from the kiss and pull his hair until he exposes the side of his neck. I lick the spot I'm about to mark and hear him groan. Putting my mouth on his neck, I bite down until the skin breaks and the taste of blood reaches my tongue. Instantly, a flood of sensations comes over me, changing me. I feel myself become more aware and the mark on my neck burns slightly. The need to be fulfilled is overwhelming as Kyle slams himself into me with an almost brutal force. I feel my pleasure mounting with each thrust and call out his name in a haze of passion. By the time Kyle finds his release, my legs are sore and I've reached pleasure repeatedly, my eyelids heavy. I curl up to Kyle's warm body, murmuring, I love you. I love you too, is his reply. Before I feel him shift and leave the bed, I open one eye and watch him sleepily. He goes to his discarded pants and takes out the black ring box and walks back to the bed with it. Sliding back under the covers, he pulls me to his side and opens the box. I wanted to give you this. It was my grandmother's. He takes out the princess cut dime and ring and shows it to me. It's beautiful. As he slides it on my hand. Thank you. Almost as beautiful as you. Kissing the ring on my finger and looking into my eyes. I know at this moment I couldn't love him more. Chapter 39, September 22. I look at myself in the mirror. Today's my birthday. Today is the day of the challenge and the day of Kyle's and my commitment party. My whole family and all of our friends are here. I nervously fix my snow-white dress and leave the room. I see Elisa and Tumps and talking quietly with each other in front of the room she's staying in. They both turn towards me when I close the door. Elisa blushes lightly, which is such rarity I almost gasp. Hey guys. I greet them. Awkwardly. Happy birthday. Sis Elisa replies. I smile. Even though it's not really my birthday. This is the day I want to celebrate every year. Thinking of my real birthday, I'll only think of being taken away. At least with this birthday, I'll share it with one of the best sisters a girl could ask for. I see you two are becoming close. Smirking. I've never gotten to tease Elisa about a man before. I can't pass up this opportunity. We hear a commotion coming from the room across from Elisa's. Lily. I call out. Concerned. I'm going to kick his ass. She screams before opening the door to continue. When I'm done with him, he'll be a dickless. Bloody stump. I try not to smile. The wrath of Lily is not something to take lightly. It'll wash off, I reply, trying to sound consoling. Liam and Lily have had a P-ranking relationship with each other. It all started 3 days ago when both started daring each other to jump off of the cliffs at the local falls. It was supposed to be a relaxed time, just us enjoying the unseasonably warm weather. However, it seems the two of them are determined to one-up the other, and that escalated to pranks. She huffed. I don't care. Who puts flour in someone's hairdryer? I shrug. He did put glitter in all his shower gel. Yeah. He said his looked like a disco ball. Alpha Thompson adds. making Elisa and I laugh. This isn't over, she growls, pulling open her bedroom door and slamming it shut. I wince and tiptoe past her door. Later. Love birds. Shut it. I have more dirt on you than you do me, Elisa orders. Thinking about our past, I hold up my hands, calling a truce and walk down the stairs. I watch and listen for Kyle, finding him in his office with my dad. Liam, to my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Milburn, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Wesley was holding his sleeping baby girl in his arms. Liam, you are very brave. However, you're very stupid. Lily is going to kill you. His eyes light up. She used the hairdryer. Man, I've been waiting for hours. Liam, she threatened to castrate you. You may want to hide until she leaves. Seriously. He shrugs in caring and I walk to Kyle. I feel Kyle's disappointment and reluctance. Tell me, I demand immediately, knowing his moods better now and what they mean. If he's ever disappointed or reluctant, I know he's struggling with himself over bad news. I've been challenged. By who? The elves who lied right from your house. Tomia, him. Why would he challenge you? You've already almost killed him once. Obviously. He's not very bright. I'm not nervous. I know Kyle will win, but I don't want to see Tomat either. When did he challenge you? I see his chagrin look and know he's known for a while. He still has time to withdraw. Go talk to him. He groans but stands up. Liam immediately follows after Kyle and they leave the room. Well, little Miss Timid has found her backbone. It's good to see. Alex jokes. I laugh because it's true. I've gotten more comfortable with Kyle. It's amazing what he'll do for me when I ask. It's like he lives to make me happy. I leave them and find my mothers are in the kitchen cooking and preparing dishes for our momating ceremony. I'd admit it was awkward when my mothers met, and downright terrifying when my dads did. However, after talking, my moms have learned a lot about each other and managed to put the past behind them. Need any help? No, sweetie. This is your day. I sit at the kitchen aisle and waiting for Kyle to return. He's been so great lately. I miss him as soon as he leaves the room. We've talked about kids and agreed that we'd start a family after I take classes in carpentry. A local man runs an apprentice program, and after sending him pictures of things I've learned to build with my grandfather, has agreed to teach me and help me expand my knowledge. I'm sure Kyle had something to do with his willingness, but he refuses to acknowledge the question every time I ask. I'd really like to start my own custom furniture business and take orders via the internet. It's only a dream right now. But Kyle is building me a wood shop in our backyard. One step at a time and we'll make it happen. Alpha Kyle Hart. I knock on the door of my challenger, but not entirely sure why I'm here. It never occurred to me to tell Emily, no, you can say I'm whipped, but in reality she rarely asks for anything. If I can do something for her, I feel determined to do it. The door opens and Tom stands before me. You have 30 minutes to withdraw your challenge. I say to him. He visually gulps. I won't withdraw. I nod. That's fine. Do you have a pack to go to after you lose? I question. Seriously. I can tell he hasn't thought much about it. He's ambitious and trained to fight. He'd be an asset anywhere he goes. I've got 3 alphas in town for my mating celebration. I'm sure one of them will offer you a position. Or speak to them. I state and turn to walk away. Why are you here? If it's not to request from me to bow out. My mate wanted me to come. He looks away almost ashamed. If I back out now, I'll look weak. That's a hell of a lot smarter than looking beat and pathetic when you lose. Not to mention being completely brainless to challenge your alpha. Liam scoffs. It's expected. I have alpha blood in me, he explains. Are you sure? Because right now you're sounding pretty weak. If it's your family expecting you to do this, then maybe you should take a stand with them. I reply. Walking back to the car, I hear him race after us. Wait. I look at him, knowing what he's going to say. I withdraw my challenge. I nod once, not waiting to make it a big deal. I understand his reluctance to appear weak. It's something any male can relate to. I get behind the wheel and drive back home. It almost makes me smile thinking about making Emmy happy. I walk back to the office thinking that's where Emily would wait. How'd it go? Jack asks. He withdrew. I reply. Simply. Out of all the alphas in this room, I was the only one challenged. I thought Wesley would be challenged, but he's really done a lot for the pack in his short time as alpha. He's not only impressed his pack but other alphas as well. Alex would have been challenged if I hadn't killed Dante. Jack's son is taking over the pack tomorrow and will more than likely be challenged next year. I hear footsteps behind us and before I know it, Liam drops to the floor next to me. Behind him, Lily smirks triumphantly as Liam groans, clutching his manhood. I guess you should have listened to Emily. Chapter 45 years later. I watched Bill Hilt use the oscillating spindle sander finish up the rough edges on our next order. Business has been good and working with Bill. We've grown Hart Temp Hilt custom furnishings from the ground up. I see the baby monitor light up and I know Tiara Elisa Hart has woken up from her nap and is ready to eat. Right on time. I'll be back later. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilben. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. I yell over the sound of the sander and point to the monitor. He grins, seeing the lights moving, and waves as I leave. Back in the house, I walk upstairs to the nursery, hearing Kyle cooing to our 3-month-old daughter. I peek into the room, seeing the picture-perfect moment. Kyle holding such a small child, like she's made of the most breakable thin crystal. Tiara came screaming into this world for days after our 5th anniversary. Her attitude hasn't changed much. When she's unhappy, her fist fly and her scream can make anyone cower. Noticing she's gearing up to let out another bellow, I walk into the room. Patience is a virtue, little one, Kyle tells her, making me laugh. Just not one of hers. Or yours for that matter, I point out. Sitting down in the glider chair, Kyle hands me her carefully and I pull up my shirt to start feeding her. You think she'll be like me? He questions, smiling at the thought. I huff. I don't think there's any doubt. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilben. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Given the name you gave her, she already thinks she's royalty. She's my princess. It is fitting. Defensively, the truth is, it's the only name that we could agree on. Either way, we're going to have our hands full, I reply, smoothing out the dark hair on Tiara's head. Your sister called. Which one? Elisa. She was crying about something. I groaned. Elisa is 8 months pregnant with her mate Helfer Thompson. They were mated shortly after Kyle and I. They're on their 2nd child, and Elisa's hormones are going crazy. She calls me constantly asking me if I've seen those dog shelter commercials that place Emma Clocklin songs. I listen as patently as I can to her sobbing tales about these abused animals and her pile of them. I'll call her later. There's a soft knock on the door and Lily peeks her head in. That baby is constantly sleeping. She complains. She's a baby, I remind her. Yeah, but I'm bored. I laugh. Only Lily can complain about a baby being a baby and make it sound like it's Tiara's fault, that she's bored. Why don't you find that mate of yours? I suggest. No, I'm mad at him. Oh God, what did Liam do now? He's bugging me for a pup. She replies, distastefully. Liam wants to start a family and you're mad about it. Just tell him you're not ready. I did. He wants to know when I'll be ready and I told him when Ryan Gosling impregnates me. Now he's off pouting. Why do you consistently have to goad him? Kyle asks. Exasperated, Kyle has to deal with his pissed off beta more frequently than not. I don't understand Liam and Lily's relationship, but it's all about fighting and making up. We're all used to them now, but in the beginning it was strange seeing mates argue so heatedly. It's my job. She shrugs. But you know what isn't my job? Dealing with a pregnant Elisa. I'm not answering another phone call from her until she has the baby. I shake my head. It's definitely worse this pregnancy than the first. I agree. Tiara finished eating and starts to squirm. I hand her off to Kyle, who only has her for a second before Lily takes over. I bought you a new outfit. She tells, Tiara, and then turns to me. It's a Halloween costume. She's either going as a mermaid or Cinderella. Great. I'll take pictures. She sings, leaving the room. Should we really trust her with our child? Kyle questions. Are you going to tell her no? I would, but it would take days to define the word to her, and I don't have the time or the patience. Leaning down and capturing my mouth with his, I think we have a half hour to ourselves. Then I suggest we make the most of it. I reply, throwing my arms around his neck.